Welcome to the 2021 Blaster Guide video. Before we begin, there's a few important things that we need to discuss. First, I want to say I'm not a high mechanical blaster main, and this is not a high advanced endgame guide. Does this care to hurt your fingers? Well, short answer is no, and you guys have been playing it wrong the whole time. Okay, so let's start off with the gauge system, and assuming you guys are not reading what's displayed on the screen, pretty much what you need to know is that whenever you use revolving cannon and detonate, your gauge will consume a bullet. You'll notice that the gauge will start going up. Once you have about at least 3 or full gauge, you're able to use one of your strongest skills called Bunker Buster Explosion. When you use Bunker Buster Explosion, you'll see that the gauge is going through this overheating phase. And you can also use your charging abilities like bobbing and weaving to refresh, like reload some of the bullets, like your ammo in the gauge system. That's pretty much it. What you need to know about the gauge, and yeah, you can also use hyper skills to avoid the overheating phase as well. Right, so let's start off with the 5th job skills first, starting with Rocket Punch. Rocket Punch is a 45-second active buff that gives you 100% IED, more damage percent, more lines, and it will also add an explosion effect on your auto attacks. It will also use revolving cannon. This is good to know because you can use like the shotgun combo, which doesn't consume that, and you can use Bunker Buster Explosion, which is really good. I also recommend using your hyper skill, the overdrive, with it as well. Note that this skill does not work with your 5th job abilities, and I recommend using it for bossing and for mobbing. The next skill is Gatling Punch. This right here is it lasts for 4 seconds, and it's a really powerful burst ability. I recommend using it whenever it's available, but only for bossing. Alright, it's extremely powerful, quick burst. One thing you need to know about it is that when you use it, your combo training goes to max stacks. Also, it will help proc one of your passive abilities, which will help keep you alive, because you're not going to be able to die to like one-hit KO abilities, which you can see here. That's pretty much it, all you need to know about it, but yeah, it's extremely powerful. Next skill is Bullet Blast. Bullet Blast, this skill, when your character is in like that animation, throughout the whole thing, he's in iframe, meaning he can't die, alright, he's invincible. I've been watching a lot of KMS players play, and they use it whenever it's available. Like, you can use it to get yourself out of sticky situations. Well, I guess you can use it whenever way you want to, but I've just been seeing all the top players, they've been using it just for damage. Now, my skill is at low level, but imagine if it was maxed, it's extremely powerful. But yeah, I recommend using it for bossing and for mobbing. There's also a way where you can get out of the animation of it towards the end, because you're kind of locked in that position. I don't know how to do that, but there is a way that you can do that, though. Alright, next skill, this one is the Aftershock image. Pretty much, it's kind of like Shadow Partner, kind of. Like, every few seconds, you'll notice that it attacks, like, you'll see it. So I put a couple screenshots right here, because it's probably confusing what it looks like. But yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Like, it'll just start attacking every few seconds. It's really strong, it definitely makes mobbing a lot easier. And bossing, it's like more increased damage, I guess. Really powerful skill, and I recommend using it. So how's the mobbing and how's the bossing? Starting with the mobbing first. The mobbing is alright, especially with the new 5th job skill, it is better. I would say the mobbing is extremely good only when overdrive is available, because then you can use Bunker Buster Explosion more often. For mobbing, you want to use the shotgun combo, which is what I'm doing in this video. And also, like, I'm doing like a little mini hop, which is called skating. You don't have to do that, but I pretty much just do it just because it looks cool. But yeah, mobbing, it's alright. I think that sometimes it can get pretty tedious, because you're gonna be like, oh, I just want to press one button, right? But I'm sure once you get to like a certain level, you probably develop a huge amount of like muscle memory to the point where it won't feel like that. But yeah, mobbing, I think mobbing is alright for like a warrior character. I think it's alright. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the mobbing. Alright, so now for the bossing. For the bossing, this right here, what you can see, this is your bread and butter combo, and when you would use this all the time for bossing. This is called the no reload combo. As you can see, my bullets are always going up. They're always reloading on its own. This skill right here, you want to use it all the time. The only time you'd ever want to use like shotgun punch combo, which is right here, is if you're out of range. Other than that, I don't recommend using the shotgun punch combo, but yeah. So bossing, it's like, you want to use all of your 5th job skills whenever it's available. As you can see, I'm doing it here. You want to use it whenever it's available. And also use overdrive and Rocket Punch together. It's super freaking powerful. Like, it's like strong, it's really strong burst. So bossing, there's a lot of inputs that you have to input into the game, as you saw when I was showing you there. But yeah, he's really strong for bossing, and he has a lot of consistent damage, probably one of the highest consistent damage in the game. Unfortunately, I don't have the mechanics to like really truly show it to you guys in the video, but you just have to take my word for it. But yeah, for bossing, you want to make sure that you always use Hammer Smash, which is that little debuff, that like purple thing above the boss's heads. You want to make sure you use it all the time for like more increased like final damage. But yeah, bossing is really nice. It's just that it's really hard to position your character, like, because you're always like dashing and moving and stuff like that. But yeah, so survivability and movement. So survivability and movement, he has like 3 iframes. The one that I showed you right here, and then this one right here. This one right here, it's like a bind and an iframe. I don't recommend using it for like a bind, because you want to attack the boss well, you know. And then this skill right here, it might be a teleport or an iframe. I'm not sure. Someone correct me. Like, it looks like maybe a teleporting ability. I'm not sure. And then he also has like this passive right here, which prevents him from dying to abilities that would normally kill me in one hit. Like, normally I would just die in one hit here, as you can see, you know, like the 5th job skill, or I can use my charge abilities to proc the passive, and I just don't die at all. That's like super crazy. No one talks about that. And then for movement, I think he has the best movement in the game, like, honestly, for like all cases. Like, you know, he has your flash jump, your dashing forward and back. You can decrease the animation, like decrease the distance by jumping, and then you can also do that within your attacks too as well, which is super cool. And you can do stuff like this right here. And he can also he has like a lot of air time. Like, he can stay in the air for a long time. Like, imagine if there was a boss right here. You can like kite Krusty the Clown. Like, it's really good, the movement. I don't see a lot of blasters doing this. It looks cool too. But yeah, and of all the characters in the game, he's probably the only one who can really surf the map, like, really quickly from like left to right or right to left. Like, as you can see right here, like, he can really surf the map really quickly. So I thought that was really cool. I honestly think his movement is like one of the best in the game. Oh, and he also has built-in healing too as well, as you can see right here. Like, whenever you see that fire thing around him, he can get his HP back. Like, you can just press the skill and get HP back. And he has Dark Sight, with nobody uses this skill, but he has it. I just thought I should mention that. Yeah, but yeah, like, his mobility, I actually think his mobility is really friggin' good, and no one talks about it. Like his mobility, it's really good. And like, I'm saying this on like, for like, if you're end game or late game, like, it'll probably really show. All right, so let's start off with hyper skills, hyper stats, and interability. Starting with hyper stats, like I always say, there's no one size fit all, because we have things like Legion, Link skills, and equipment. You want to put up whatever you're lacking. So if your crit rate's lacking, maybe you should put up here, or maybe you should put up bonus experience. Remember, you can always reset these, so it depends whenever your character is lacking. And here's the interability here. And then when it comes to hyper skills, try using this setup right here. This one is, I found it was more effective for me. But yeah, give that a try. So now we're going to talk about V Matrix. So for V Matrix, I guess starting with Link skills first. Like, Link skills, I recommend getting these ones right here. Obviously, there's more Link skills, but those are the ones that are really effective on them. And then, like, node stones, this right here is what I'd recommend getting. Or I guess boost nodes. And then V skills. The rope lift is optional, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I didn't really, obviously you can see I didn't really have enough time to set up that stuff. So pros and cons. Okay, starting with the pros first. Character has a lot of bursts, a lot of consistent damage, good survivability, good movement, top DPS. Once Adil finally receives her nerfs and then retires from Maple, goes back to her singing career, Blaster will be #1 again. Yeah, that's pretty much it about the pros for Blaster. Moving on to the cons. The cons, obviously the character has a lot of inputs. The character is going to take time to learn. Like, I don't think there's anyone that I've seen that can actually truly master their character. But yeah, he takes a long time to learn. Like, you're not going to learn how to do these combos in like a day or two. It's going to take you a lot of time and patience for this character. And yeah, he has a lot of inputs, and people are complaining about the character hurts their fingers. Well, you don't button mash on a combo character. It's just not smart. But yeah, those are pretty much his cons. Alright, you guys, so my final thoughts on Blaster. Okay, so the mobbing, he's like a mediocre mobber. Like, it's only good when overdrive is available. Like, it's really good. But yeah, he's a solid bosser, but he requires high effort. Like you have to put more work to get a little bit more results than others. He takes a lot of time and patience to learn than other classes. And if you know how to do the combos, you know, like move well, like better than me, and like you have mechanics where you're able to like dash and dodge while still attacking, then he's really good. Like I would say like S tier, because his survivability and movement is so damn good, and he has probably one of the highest consistent damage in the game than others, because most people in the attack, they have to move out of the way, and like you can consistently keep attacking while like putting out so much damage. But yeah, when you pick the blaster, I feel like you're playing Maplestory on hard mode, because Maplestory, it's a grinding game. You need to play this game for a lot, and yeah, the character takes a lot of stamina out of you when you play it. Oh, and also some people will argue and say like to be able to use some of his mobility and some of his attacks, like you have to use bullets from your gauge system to do that. That's not necessarily an issue, because when blasters, you're consistently reloading your gauge, like your ammos, so that's not a problem. But I thought I should bring it out there. And yeah, I feel like the reward that you get from playing blaster is not worth it. Like if you really think about it, like there's characters, for example, like there's Kadena. Kadena, you can learn Kadena really easily, like really quickly. She's just straight up easier than the blaster. You can learn Kadena's combos in like a day or two. Blaster, that will take you like a month. Oh, and this spinning move right here I'm using, that you do not use it for mobbing. That move is garbage, okay? The only time you'd ever use that is just to get your combo training up. That's it. But yeah, back to the Kadena and Blaster. Kadena is just easier to use, but Blaster has better survivability, better mobility, and also takes a heck of a lot of time out of you to really learn the character. So you pick what you want to pick, right? So yeah, Blaster, he's a unique character, and yeah, like if you like it, give it a try, you know. But just let you know, like this character takes a lot of time to learn. Lastly, I want to say, I guess that's it for my final thoughts. I just want to talk about the whole finger hurting thing. Look, you guys don't button mash on a combo character, okay? And I'd recommend getting something like this, like a mouse, like a wrist rest for the keyboard. Recommend getting that, because when you guys are playing, your hand is like this, and you're gonna really hurt yourself, right? So think about stuff like that, and also think about your keyboard layout. Assuming if you're using the QWER setup when you're playing, you should never have jump on alt, because literally your thumb is underneath your fingers. I also explained this in my combo video, so check that out in the first link in the description. But yeah, those are type of stuff that you should learn about. Also, if you have experience playing fighting games, like fighting games that involve combos, Super Smash Bros. Does not count. I'm talking about real fighting games like Street Fighter, King of Fighters, Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, Under Night, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Those are actual real combo games that involve combos, and if you have experience actually playing it, not button mashing in those games, actually playing it, it'll be a lot easier for you to pick up a character like Blaster, because you'll understand about combos and stuff like that. But just because you don't play those games, that doesn't mean you can't learn the character. Of course you can learn the character, but people who come from a background of those type of games tend to be able to pick it up quicker. Okay. Anyways, that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.